everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Mike Martin Show here on AM 790 WPRV on Facebook Live and on YouTube. I'm your host, Scott Cordisci. Glad you could join us. Our opening segment of the Mike Martin Show brought to you by Bay Coast Bank, providing exceptional service and financial solutions for our community since 1851. Visit baycoast.bank to learn more. Well, the Bears wrap up the 2021-22 season Saturday at Yale. We'll talk more about that game a little bit later on in the show. We'll also be joined by freshman swingman Aaron Cooley on this week's show. But first things first, let's say hello to the head coach of the Bears, Mike Martin. Coach, how are you?
Scott, great. Always good to be with you.
Thank you for being with us, Coach, as always. I see you got your ashes for Ash Wednesday. I haven't made it to the church yet, but I'm going to plan on doing that a little bit later on today. Hope you said a prayer for me. So, Coach, an 81-74 win over Columbia Saturday night on senior night. It was a beautiful pregame ceremony honoring your 5 seniors, and the team went out and played well and beat the Lions.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I mean, every senior night's emotional, right? This one, with everything these guys have been through and, you know, all that they've done over the last 2, 3, and in some cases 4, 5 years, right?
Yep.
Tamanang has been with us now for 5 years. It just, you know, it was, you know, as they walked out, it was, it really hit me that, man, this is the last time these guys are going to play at the pits. And, you know, you think about something we talk about all the time as a program. We want to leave the jersey better than we found it, right? We want to be in a position where when we leave the program, the jersey is in a better position than it was when we got here. And you think about what Tamanang, Jalen, and David have done and meant. You know, obviously, I single those guys out because they've been here for the full time.
Right.
They chose us out of high school. Man, they're leaving the jersey in a much better position than they found it, and our program is set up to be really, really good for the future because of all the things they've done.
Absolutely. All right, let's go over some of the game highlights, Coach. In the first half, Dan Friday scoring on back-to-back possessions for the Bears. Let's take a listen. Here's Felix Cloman up top to Lilly. They get it in the paint to Cho. Kick it left side to Friday, open for 3, and Dan Friday knocks it down. You know, Dan Friday's three-point shooting has been much better the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, much improved. Nice pass out by T. Cho. T, who last Saturday had 15, 9, and 9 against Penn, so close to a triple-double.
Robledo's 3 off the mark. Bears with the rebound. Back the other way. Here's Cloman with it to Friday. Thought about another 3. Instead takes it to the rim and scores.
Yeah, with the left hand. Went up over everybody. Laid it in.
5 points from Dan Friday has given the Bears a 1-point lead. 19-18 Brown. You know, Dan scored 12 points. I think he had 4 rebounds, 3 assists. I just like the way the team operates when he's on the floor. I tell you, he is, like I said, I've said this before, I think he's our best playmaking point guard. And, you know, he can score the basketball as well. And I know he's worked. I see him in the gym working on his outside shot. That outside shot's gotten better here later in the season.
It has, Scott. You know, he's battled sickness. He's battled injuries throughout the year. And, you know, there's no question when he's 100% and he's healthy, we're a much better basketball team because he takes so much pressure off everyone else. Like, he is a terrific playmaker. He takes the pressure off of T. He takes the pressure off of Keno. You know, when he's out there with Keno doesn't have to create every shot for himself. Dan and T can create a lot of shots and a lot of opportunities for Keno. So Dan is only a sophomore. The future is extremely bright. He's playing really well for us right now, and it's good. It's good to see because we all have really high expectations for Dan, and his career at Brown is going to be. I think he's going to have some really great success.
You mentioned Keno Lilly, and he brings us to our next set of highlights later in the half. Friday's fellow backcourt mate, Keno Lilly, hit back-to-back threes. On the left, Cowan, back up top, Lilly, straight away 3. Good.
Cowan gets that assist. Keno, maybe he's getting it revved up. Maybe he's starting to feel it. Gets the Bears to within 2 at 37-35 with a minute and a half left.
4 points for the freshman Keno Lilly, 37-35. The Bears trim the Lions' lead to 2. Minute 20 to go until halftime. Here's Cooper. Takes it down the right side of the lane. Trips on his way to the basket. Missed a shot. Cooley with a rebound.
Yeah, Cooley bothered that shot. He got in his way. Forced the errant shot.
Closing in on a minute to play here in the first half. Brown with the ball, down 2. Lilly left alone. He'll take a 3 from the same spot and hit it again.
Well, they gave him way too much space that time. Luke Bolster was out there and didn't think he could score from that deep, but Lilly has pretty good range, Scott, as we know.
Just like that, the Bears regain the lead, 38-37 Brown. Yeah, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I don't know if there's a guy in the league that I feel more confident in. When I see him open outside of the three-point arc, I just feel like it's going in. And I love the point that you brought up, too, about Friday. Friday's a guy that, he can penetrate a defense and draw it and give a guy like Lilly more open looks.
Yeah, and the more open looks we get Keno, the better for our offense. And Columbia played a decent amount of zone the other night. And both those threes were key, back-to-back possessions at the top of that 2-3 zone. He's got great range. And, obviously you always talk about getting the ball in the middle of the zone or behind the zone. If you have a guy who can really shoot it at the top of the zone, that brings their guards out, and it opens up the middle. It opens up the baseline, and Keno's ability to do that obviously really helps when you go against his own defense.
Early on in the second half, Jalen Gainey, who had himself a career night for the Bears, he came up with back-to-back swats. Rubio De La Rosa for three off the back of the rim, no good. Harding pushed to get the rebound, but the shot blocked by Gainey. And another one!
Another one! I think he's fired up.
Yeah, that was a pretty neat transition. Sequence of events, I was trying to say. Jalen back-to-back block. Yeah, Harding kind of shoved him in the back and got the rebound as a result of it. Jalen said, doesn't matter. Blocked one shot, and then he blocks another one.
Yeah, he was sensational in every way. Obviously, his rim protection makes our defense that much better than it would be without it. So, he's playing really, really well, and he's got one more game in a Brown uniform to finish out his career on a great note. And then Jalen's future playing basketball is very bright.
Yep, no doubt about it. Later in the half, Gainey crashed the offensive glass to add to what was his single-game career high in points. Friday scoop to the hoop, doesn't go. Gainey with a tip-in!
Acrobatic, hung in the air to tip that one in.
Jalen Gainey now with 23. And the Bears lead it 73-66. He finished with a career-high 25, which was fantastic to see on senior night. 12 rebounds and a school record 8 block shots.
Yeah,
what a night.
Almost a triple-double.
Yeah.
And obviously T almost had the triple-double the week before against Penn. So, yeah, great to see. And like I said with Jalen, you just feel bad that Brown fans only got him for 3 years instead of 4, because of the pandemic. And but he's given so much to our program, and his development over the course of his 4 years embodies everything that we talk about in the recruiting process. We want to recruit young men who are coachable, young men who love the game and love to work, and young men who want to get better. And so much of the development that we talk about so much of it is because of the player, right? And how hard they work and how driven they are and how coachable they are. And Jalen has all the characteristics that we look for, and now he's one of the best big men in the Ivy League.
I know this is up to the coaches. The coaches vote on this, and I don't think you can vote for your own players, but I've got to believe, just having been around the league 2 times with every team, he's got to be one of the leaders for Defensive Player of the Year again, does he not?
You would think so. Yeah, we'll have that vote, in the coming days, and the nominations are due this weekend to see who's on the ballot. And rest assured, he's my nomination. You can only nominate players from your team for Defensive Player of the Year.
But then you can't vote on him, right?
Correct. So he's our nomination. He'll be on the ballot for Defensive Player of the Year, and let's hope he wins it. I think he deserves it.
Yeah, so do I. So the Bears beat the Columbia Lions 81-74. Coach, unfortunately, earlier in the day, we learned that Cornell had defeated Yale, and by virtue of that win, the Big Red essentially locked up the 4th spot in the Ivy League tournament. Even if you were to win Saturday and they were to lose to Columbia, they would have wins over Yale and Princeton, where you would just have a win over Yale, for instance. So by virtue of that tiebreaker, the second tiebreaker, they get the nod. So I'm sure there was a little disappointment there.
Yeah, so the first tiebreaker is head-to-head, and we split, unfortunately. They beat us here at the buzzer, and we basically beat them there at the buzzer on Jalen's dunk with 3 seconds left. So because we split the regular season series, it would go to wins over first place, second place, and all the way down. And no matter how Princeton and Yale finish 1-2 or tied for first or whatever it might be, they have wins over each of them, like you said. So, yeah, disappointing because our goals were to win an Ivy League championship, to have a chance to win 2 games in March, to play in the NCAA tournament, and we've fallen short of those goals. And obviously we can look back at maybe why that happened and all the close losses and maybe some offensive droughts at key moments throughout the year, but. I feel really good about the process, right? The results haven't been where we want them to be as a program this year. But you think about the process, you think about the day-to-day work, you think about the culture of our program, the chemistry, the type of young men we have. Not just the type of people they are, but the talent that they possess. And, we're going to lose some really important seniors, but I feel really good, big picture, about how our program continues to grow and continues to develop, on the court and off the court.
It's funny, you talked about Jalen earlier, and it was so fun to watch his development here at Brown, and wish we had him 4 and not 3 years on the court. The guy that's coming up in our next segment, Aaron Cooley, I know it's a different position, but I see the raw talent and athleticism in him that I saw in Jalen Gainey. I'm hoping for that same type of, upward trajectory for a guy like Aaron Cooley, because I see the potential there. I see the length, I see the athleticism, I see the skill. And we saw it in Jalen late in his freshman year, and look at the player he's turned out to be for you. And I'm hoping that Aaron can kind of follow that same path.
Yeah, I think that's fair, Scott. I think, Aaron, when we recruited him, we thought he could be an all-conference type player, and we still believe that, and I only feel stronger about it, to be honest, after coaching him for the year and being around him for the season. The physical strength, he's got to add weight. He's got to get a little bit stronger. He's got to continue to develop his skills. But he's playing behind David Mitchell and Tamanang Cho, and those are 2 really good, experienced veteran players that you want out there most of the game.
Sure.
And Noah Marin as well, as a senior. So it wasn't that Aaron wasn't ready to help us. Maybe not ready to help us at the level those guys could this year. But he's learned, he's grown a lot, he's developed a lot this year, and I think the sky's the limit. I think, we think he can be a star for us going forward. And you think about our freshman class with Keno and Nana and Aaron, and then obviously Lindell and Sam too.
Yep.
A lot of really good things to be excited about with those 5 guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you only need to look back to the Carolina game to see the flashes of potential there right in front of your eyes. He was terrific against the Tar Heels.
In that game, T was hurt. David fouled out. Jalen
was in
fouled out.
trouble.
So, there was opportunity. And, 24 minutes, 7.6 rebounds. He had some other key moments throughout the year. And, to do it on that stage in his second career college game shows you the kind of talent he has. And he's as talented as he is. He's a better person, and he's gonna have a great career here.
Same, I guess, off-season recipe for him that you had for Jalen as a freshman. Get in the weight room, put on some good weight.
Yeah, again, like you said, different positions, different types of skill sets. But the biggest thing is, and he's already doing extra work with Mike Pimentel and Mike's staff over in the weight room, and Mike does a great job with all of our athletes. Aaron knows what he has to do. He's working at it, and we think this usually after your freshman, leading up to your sophomore year, you see big jumps in guys, and I fully expect to see that with Aaron.
Yep. Just getting back to the Columbia game, I know we talked a lot about Jalen's night. I mentioned Friday's numbers. Ticho, went out his last home game with pretty good numbers too. 17 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, again closing in on a triple-double. And he's done something really all year long, particularly in league play, that I've said to you before, I think great scorers do. He gets to the free throw line. 9 of 13 from the free throw line. I think great scorers have that knack, have that ability, and he's certainly one of them.
Yeah, he's number 1 in the league in fouls drawn per 40 minutes, and he's among the leaders in the country in fouls drawn per 40 minutes. That's a stat that I saw recently on Ken Palm. But, his playmaking ability, especially, again, when a team plays zone, you want to have a good decision maker and a playmaker in the middle of that zone, and we're really fortunate. If T's in there, he's there. If he's on the bench, we put Friday in there, and those are about as good as it gets as far as guys catching and having the ability to score, finish over contact, or through contact, I should say, and oversize, or make the right kick out to open shooters. T's great in the middle of that zone.
All right. We talked about Aaron Cooley a moment ago. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk to Aaron when we continue with the Mike Martin Show right after this.
The British! They're here!
Sir, this is our Bay Coast Bank interactive teller machine, not the British. With our local ITM personal bankers, you can cash checks, make loan payments, and deposit or withdraw funds with extended hours beyond regular branch hours.
Genius!
Thank you.
I would like to make a withdrawal.
Great! How much?
12 shillings, please.
Elite Physical Therapy is a proud partner of Brown Bears Athletics. Achieving elite levels of performance is a pursuit held by all athletes, so we wanted to know how members of Brown's coaching staff defined elite.
Elite means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but I would say it's somebody who's pursuing their potential to the absolute ends. And so, for some people that might mean, the Olympic Games and pursuing medals, and for other people that might mean trying to get onto the roster, to travel to HEPS and our Ivy League championship, and to score a point for the team by the time they're a senior. So everybody's potential lies in a different place, but if you're truly pursuing your potential to the absolute end, then that's what being elite is to me.
Now taking off, Breeze Airways with nice, new, and non-stop flights to Pittsburgh, Charleston, and Norfolk. Only on Breeze Airways.
Doctors at University Orthopedics have been caring for the people of southeastern New England for more than 40 years. With the Warren Alpert Medical School of Brown University, we train the next generation of orthopedic surgeons. Our state-of-the-art facilities stretch from Westerly to Mansfield. At our East Bay Surgery Center, we've performed thousands of surgeries, including same-day total joint replacements. We've grown through the years, but our goal has always been getting you back to doing what you love to do. The best orthopedic care anywhere is right here. University Orthopedics.
From corporate events to weddings by the bay to private celebrations, the Pronzi name means elegance, personalized service, and exacting attention to detail. Pronzi has everything you need in one place: event planning, catering, tents, tables and chairs, decor, and so much more. Call Pronzi today and let them plan your next event. Why go anywhere else?
The British! They're here!
Sir, this is our Bay Coast Bank interactive teller machine, not the British. With our local ITM personal bankers, you can cash checks, make loan payments, and deposit or withdraw funds with extended hours beyond regular branch hours.
Genius!
Thank you!
I would like to make a withdrawal.
Great! How much?
12 shillings, please.
Doctors at University Orthopedics have been caring for the people of southeastern New England for more than 40 years. With the Warren Alpert Medical School of Brown University, we train the next generation of orthopedic surgeons. Our state-of-the-art facilities stretch from Westerly to Mansfield. At our East Bay Surgery Center, we've performed thousands of surgeries, including same-day total joint replacements. We've grown through the years, but our goal has always been getting you back to doing what you love to do. The best orthopedic care anywhere is right here. University Orthopedics.
From corporate events to weddings by the bay to private celebrations, the Pronzi name means elegance, personalized service, and exacting attention to detail. Pronzi has everything you need in one place: event planning, catering, tents, tables and chairs, decor, and so much more. Call Pronzi today and let them plan your next event. Why go anywhere else?
Welcome back to the Mike Martin Show here on AM 790 WPRV on Facebook Live and on YouTube. This portion of the program brought to you by the Brown University Sports Foundation. Through your donations and the work of our volunteers, the Brown Sports Foundation is committed to providing funding and support to Brown Athletics to enhance the student-athlete experience. Thank you for your generosity and service to Brown Athletics. So right now, it gives me great pleasure to welcome to the Coach Martin Show. He is a freshman, kind of a swingman, guard/forward. From Roxbury, Massachusetts, Aaron Cooley is with us. Aaron, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for stopping by and joining us. You're the final guy we get to talk to. We've been through the whole roster, and you're it. That's why you're solo, right? We've had guys in pairs, and you're here alone.
Yeah, I thought you guys forgot about me for a minute.
No, we have not forgotten about you. Well, thank you again for being on the show, and congratulations on what's been a nice start to your career here at Brown. I want to ask you. I mentioned Roxbury, Massachusetts. David Mitchell, as we know, one of the co-captains from this year's team, is from Roxbury. How much did David Mitchell's presence here maybe influence you deciding to come to Brown?
It had a big influence on me. Just being in his presence since a little kid. I remember he used to come into my grandmother's salon and get his hair done there, and then he would come back with me and play with the wrestlers. So just having that, that big brother for like just having the chance to play with him at the biggest stage is just like life changing for me, because when we were younger, I never got a chance to play with him because he was always 2 grades above on AAU teams, and I never went to high school with him either. So just having this opportunity to be here and play with him for his senior year, it was a chance that I didn't want to miss out on. So he definitely had a big influence on why I'm here today.
I'd love to get your impression of D. Mitch and how you feel about him. I know how I feel about him. I've told him this before. I said, you're the Marcus Smart of Brown basketball, right? Like, he does the dirty work, the little things, rebounding, diving on the floor for loose ball, defending his tail off. You know what I mean? The stuff like that, the stuff that you don't necessarily see in the box score, and not a lot of guys maybe want to do. He embraces that.
Yeah, most definitely. And even beyond that, just the leader that he is on and off the court, it's just amazing to be like under his wing, just to witness it and go through it, because like he does such like you said, Marcus Smart, he does all the little things that you wouldn't really think about. Like, for instance, I'm just thinking about our practices. Like, he leads our stretches. Like, he's talking from the beginning of practice to the end of practice, and it's just like, wow, like his presence will definitely be missed next season. But it's also like, to me, it's like, okay, I've been under his wing this whole season. Let me learn from him. Let me see what I need to do so that for the next 3 seasons while I'm here, I can sort of be that D. Mitch of the team and sort of bring that energy that he like led for us this season. And then just going on to like the stats and the hustling. Like, anytime I see D. Mitch big, like he's like what, like 220, like just taking a charge, like that's so dope to see. And just his energy. Like, I think like he's just like a true leader on and off the court, and it just shows. And it's going to show wherever he goes beyond basketball, whether in the corporate world or just, finding his own way. His leadership is going to show anywhere that he goes.
It's great to hear you say that you admire and respect his leadership, and that you've learned from it, and that you'll be able to take that with you now, helping to lead this team the next few years. So you went to a bunch of different schools, right? Newton North, Thayer Academy, and Beaver Country Day.
Yeah.
Tell me about your high school experience.
So Newton North was my home. That's where my mother and father met, actually. And I loved playing under Coach Conley, Paul Conley. He was probably one of my favorite coaches to be under. But then I left Newton North because I had to get surgery on my elbow. And with the surgery, it took me, the rehab was 6 months. And I didn't want to miss my sophomore AAU season because, sophomore and junior year are big years for recruiting as far as AAU goes. So it was a very tough decision leaving Newton North, especially for my family because, they were alumni there. But making the transition to Thayer Academy, I knew the head coach there because he was my best friend's uncle. And then I also knew some of the teammates, the players there. So the recruiting process was pretty easy. And then I went to Thayer for a year. It was a learning experience transitioning from public school to private school.
Yeah.
And then I left there because they sort of had me playing center, and I knew as far as like my recruiting was gonna go, and when I got to the next stage, I was gonna be more like a small forward combo guard.
Right.
And so I didn't want to get stuck in that predicament of just playing the block. So
makes sense.
Yeah, that was another tough decision, especially because Thayer Academy's academics was like top notch. It basically felt like I was in college already. But then landing at Beaver Country Day, I got to be with my head coach that I've been with since I was in middle school.
Yeah.
So like full circle again with Tyson Tyler, being able to be coached under him, it was another opportunity that I didn't want to miss out on. And then graduating there, that was, a lot of my friends don't have high school diplomas. So just being able to actually graduate high school, despite going to that journey of 3 different schools, it was just a major accomplishment for my family and myself.
That's awesome. You mentioned the AAU circuit, and I think you played for a bunch of different AAU programs, one of which I think BABC, is that right?
Yeah.
Is Leo Papil still involved with that?
Yeah, but his daughter, Brittany, coached me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was the whole AAU experience like for you?
Yeah, I went with Bobcats, which is Tyson Tyler's program, and then from there he did a collaboration, taking a few of Bobcats players. Leo took a few Bobcat players like me, Shai Odom, Ben Kazmarek, and he took us over to BABC. And then from there, we were under Brittany's wing, getting coached by her. And then I was gonna, after that first season with BABC, our team lost the sponsorship. So I ended up working out with Expressions for the COVID year. But just having that, I think my sophomore year was my last AAU. That's crazy. That was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But that AAU experience was like, I'm still like close friends with everyone on that team just because of the relationship that we grew, just being together inside of a house and stuff like that.
Sure.
Like some AAU teams, they do apartments and hotels, but we were in a house together.
Yeah.
So you just build a bond, and I'm like in the competition as well. It was just great. Like I saw Coach Stone came to one of our games. It was funny.
Was he the coach that recruited you for Brown?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was kind of funny because we were at Peach Jam Invitational, and there was the championship, and we were facing Nana Wusanane's team. And so Coach Stone was there looking at me and Nana, and it was a back and forth game. But at the end, Nana's team won.
Yeah.
So it was a tough one, but it's just crazy how small of a world it is that all these connections from AAU let us here. And like me and Nana, like we cool on the court, but like even closer off the court. Just
that's
that
awesome.
That bond, yeah.
That seems to be the theme I've heard from all your teammates, that this particular team is very close, and it's great to hear that. And I see it being on the road with you guys, and in hotels and buses, and at shoot around. I want to talk to you a little bit about you and your freshman season. So what stands out for me, the highlight is obviously the North Carolina game, right? We go down there, and darn it, we almost beat the Tar Heels, and I thought we should have. I think if the refs were a little kinder to us, maybe we would have.
Yeah.
In any event, we didn't have T. Cho, D. Mitch was in foul trouble, Jalen was in foul trouble, yet we still almost beat the Tar Heels. But you played terrific. You had a career high 7 points, you had 6 rebounds. If I'm not mistaken, did you hit that big 3 before halftime as well?
Yeah.
What was that whole experience like for you? That was like welcome to the big time moment for you, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it's kind of funny because when Coach first subbed me in there, I had so much energy. I was just like excited to be there, prove myself, and that energy sort of overwhelmed me at first and made me play a little out of character, like a little ecstatic, I would say. And then I got subbed out, and then like you can probably see, I think you can see on the film, but like Coach Martin walks over to me. He's like, just be who you are, basically. And then he subbed me back in, and then the first play I go down, jump stop, post fadeaway shot, and it goes in, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm here. That's when I knew. I was like, yeah, it's my time. And so and that was our first Division I game too.
Yep.
Like it was just so surreal to be in that atmosphere, 15,000 in the seats, and 3 freshmen ending the game as well. It just proved that the future of Brown is bright,
Yep.
and it was just like, wow, we proved to a lot of people that night that, we're here to stay. Brown we're trying to sort of change the culture of Brown University and make it into something even bigger than what T-Cho and D. Mitch did. Like Mikino, Nana, Lindell, and Sam Flores. We're the freshmen here, but we trying to take over as soon as possible to let people know that we're here for the long run.
The things I love about you and your game, your length, your athleticism, and your quickness. And I think the combination of your length and quickness, like when you take the ball to the hoop, you have such long strides, number one, and quick strides. Like you can get by somebody in a hurry. You know, do you look at yourself that way? Like, I mean, that's what impressed me, like, in that Carolina game. Like, a lot of guys, they put the ball on the floor, and it might take them a few steps to get to the hoop from maybe the top of the key. You're like 1-2 long strides, and you're there.
Yeah.
You're at the rim. You know what I mean? And I think that's an advantage for you.
Yeah, and that's something that, like, throughout the season that I'm trying to remember, just as far as confidence, because, you know, it's been an up and down season for everyone on our team, really. Sure. And, you know, for me, you know, I had to go through moments where, you know, I felt as though, like, am I good enough to be here? Like, is my presence needed here? And I went through moments like that, and I went through moments where I'm like, yeah, I'm here to stay, like the UNC game. So, you know, just like continuing to have that confidence throughout the season, throughout the off season, just to, you know, have that reassurance. And, you know, some ways that I get that confidence is through sparks of just like, okay, go attack him. Like, and I feel as though, like, just having that length, it sort of gives me like more options to, you know, control my offense. So like if I'm driving, he knows I'm going to drive. Okay, I can bring it back out, go into my little fadeaway and stuff like that. So I think with my length, I'll definitely be a threat in the Ivy League, just because there's not a lot of me personally. I feel as though there's not a lot of players that are lengthy and, you know, slim like me, right, to move around the defense.
If you ever question, like you just said, you question at times, do I belong here or not? Talk to a guy like Jalen Gainey. And I know you're different positions, but you remind me so much of him in terms of the raw potential that you possess. And, you know, the coaches have said to me, and I'm sure they've said to you, the one thing they'd like to see you do is put on more good weight in the weight room, right?
Yeah.
Get a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger for this level of Division I basketball. And that was the same situation that Jalen was in as a freshman, right? And now look at him now. I mean, in my opinion, he should be the two-time Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year. I believe he'll win it again this year. But I kind of look at you like Jalen Gainey. I mean, just tremendous raw talent and athleticism that's just waiting to explode.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, and you know, I was talking to my mother about this, and she said to me, when you're feeling low, or you feel as though, you know, your confidence is at a low demeanor, when you put on a jersey, whether it's a game jersey or a practice jersey, don't play for the name on the back. Don't even play for the name for the front. Just play for what's in between, and that's your heart.
That's great.
And, you know, lately I just been thinking about that every time I step on the court. Just, you know, because like the weight that carries on the front, Brown, you know, there's so much history to Brown, and then there's so much history of your family's name, just trying to make them proud. But when you remember what's in between that, your heart, you know, it just makes everything, you know, it just relaxes you in a way and makes you just want to play. Just play the game of basketball. Enjoy the thing that you enjoy playing since you were younger, you know. So.
Boy, I hope your mom doesn't mind. I might use that one. And I say that because one of the best quotes I ever heard was Dave Gavitt. He founded the Big East Conference. He was a former Providence College basketball coach. He's an Ivy Leaguer himself. He was a good baseball and basketball player at Dartmouth many years ago. God rest his soul. But he had a quote years ago about the difference between the NBA and college basketball, and he said, in the NBA, you play for the name on the back of the jersey, in college, you play for the name on the front of the jersey. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I can relate to that. But I like your mom's quote even better. Play for what's in between the front name on the front and the name on the back, your heart. I love that. It's awesome.
Thank you.
So you have some siblings, since we're talking about family. Bryce, Logan, and Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Are they athletes? Do they play sports?
Okay, Brooklyn, she's into like the gymnastics and all that.
Okay.
So that counts, yeah.
How old are they?
Logan just turned 9.
Okay.
Bryce is 11, and then Brooklyn is also 9.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
they look up to Big Brother?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
big time. They might not be the biggest basketball fans, but when it comes to their brother, they're all in. Yeah, but Logan and Bryce, they're more the tech savage. They're into the video games and all that. But Brooklyn, that's my dog right there. She's into all the sports and stuff.
That's awesome. So, again, this season did not turn out the way that we wanted, the way that we hoped. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. This team's more talented than I think what our record indicates, but we've just lost a lot of close games. A bounce of the ball here or there, a different call, whatever. I mean, and we could be talking about, a top 4 seed and going to the Ivy tournament. I know you haven't really had time to maybe look back at it because we still have one more game to go this Saturday at Yale, but what are your thoughts on, why we've come up a little bit short of our goals?
Yeah, I think we fight, but like sometimes we don't take the first punch, and that first punch can hurt us in the long run for a duration of a game. And then just we always come so close. I think it just comes down to those last few buckets, those last few possessions of taking care of the ball, not turning it over. Getting a good shot on offense. But like I feel as though even though we don't take that first punch, we still do everything that we can to fight back, and that's why most of our games have been cut close to like 2 or 3 points that has differentiated us from winning the game. But yeah, I mean like despite the season not going the way we wanted it to, I think that everyone on this team has learned so much about their character, about other people's characters, and just learning from this experience into the long run. Because it's a feeling that you never want to have, like missing the Ivy League tournament, losing by a buzzer beater.
Right.
It's just that feeling sort of haunts you in a way. And I know for like the guys in the locker room, it sort of like haunts us. Like, man, like we were this close.
Yep.
So it's definitely gonna bring sort of like a momentum changer for next season, just to approach knowing that we have so much talent in that locker room and we can do so much with it. But at the same time, if we don't punch, if we don't punch first, it can end up like last season, which we don't want. So just having that drive and hunger throughout the entire course of a season is going to be key for how we make the Ivy League tournament next year.
All right, so look, you know the seniors we lose, right? We lose T, we lose David, we lose Jalen, we lose Noah, and we lose Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be opportunity for a guy like you. And I know this coaching staff is counting on a guy like you developing and taking that next step. So what do you do this summer to improve your body, to improve your game, to come back ready in the fall to compete for a lot of minutes on this team?
Oh, yeah. It's not going to come easy. I know that for sure. But I'm a man who loves challenges. I think that's why I chose Brown. I knew it wasn't going to be easy coming here. I knew what I had to expect playing under T, playing under David, playing under Noah, and just learning from that. And then this off season, taking what I've learned, taking what I need so that I be able to grow, and just working. I plan on spending most of my summer here.
Yep.
With Coach P, working out with him, and then also with just the training staff, just to get stronger, and with that strength, I feel as though my confidence will grow as well. And I had some friends be like, take creatine, take muscle milk powder. Why throughout the whole off season? So definitely just getting on a nutrition plan as well is going to be something big that I want to, so that I feel comfortable with my body. Because I know even though I wasn't playing a lot of minutes, I still felt like extremely sore, legs aching, ankle aching, body aching, feel like an old man out here. So like finding that nutritionist, weightlifting, even I signed up for TB12 so that when I'm not here in Rhode Island, I'm sure they have TB12 here, but like when I'm back home, just having that, access to a gym, and training so that, I'm still ready. And then most importantly, taking some time to myself just to, mentally, relax myself from the season, because the season can bring on a lot of stress, but it's important just for mental health's sake, just to take some time to myself to
absolutely got to recharge the battery.
Yeah.
So last question for you, and thanks so much for joining us on the show. What's your first year been like, the whole college experience? I'm talking about athletically, academically, socially. What's it been like for you here at Brown?
It's been an adjustment. Whenever someone asks me that, I always say it's just been an adjustment. Going from high school to college, Ivy League, actually. I don't even say college. Ivy League. It's just a different, different vibe, I'll say. And I'm still finding my way. But it's forever a marathon that I'm running right now. And it's gonna take time, academically, socially, basketball wise. But I'm gonna find it. And when I find it, I'm gonna be all right.
I know you will. I told you. I see the next Jalen Gainey in you. Again, different positions, but I'm making the same analogy. I see the raw talent there, and I can't wait to see what the next 3 years are like for you on the basketball court.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Aaron, thanks so much for joining us on Coach Martin's show.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
All right, we'll take a quick time out. When we come back, Coach Martin will rejoin us, and we'll preview the matchup with the Yale Bulldogs Saturday down in New Haven. You're watching and listening to the Mike Martin Show, and we'll be back with more right after this.
The British! They're here!
Sir, this is our Bay Coast Bank interactive teller machine, not the British. With our local ITM personal bankers, you can cash checks, make loan payments, and deposit or withdraw funds with extended hours beyond regular branch hours.
Genius!
Thank you.
I would like to make a withdrawal.
Great. How much?
12 shillings, please.
My name is Mick Young Mobilia. I'm a breast cancer survivor. I just knew that something wasn't right. So I ended up calling Rhode Island Medical Imaging, and they gave me an appointment right away. They were able to fit me right in, and that's where they found out that I had breast cancer. It's a miracle that they found it. Whoever the radiologist is, they basically saved my life. Had they not found it, it could have gotten a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse the following year because I have invasive ductal carcinoma, and I already had one lymph node involvement. I couldn't even say the word breast cancer. So the fact that RIMI can provide a place where when you walk in, when you're so scared that you don't know where your life is going, and you walk in there, just the environment itself, you can relax. I'm glad that they look at every film individually. It's more than just a film that they're looking at, that they see a human behind it. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Dr. Hillstrom, nice to meet you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You can have all the money in the world, but you know what? Breast cancer doesn't see that. So for me, it's to enjoy every day of your life. My name is Mick Young Mobilia, and I am the luckiest girl on this earth.
Now taking off, Breeze Airways with nice, new, and non-stop flights to Pittsburgh, Charleston, and Norfolk. Only on Breeze Airways.
Doctors at University Orthopedics have been caring for the people of southeastern New England for more than 40 years. With the Warren Alpert Medical School of Brown University, we train the next generation of orthopedic surgeons. Our state-of-the-art facilities stretch from Westerly to Mansfield. At our East Bay Surgery Center, we've performed thousands of surgeries, including same-day total joint replacements. We've grown through the years, but our goal has always been getting you back to doing what you love to do. The best orthopedic care anywhere is right here. University Orthopedics.
From corporate events to weddings by the bay to private celebrations, the Pronzi name means elegance, personalized service, and exacting attention to detail. Pronzi has everything you need in one place: event planning, catering, tents, tables and chairs, decor, and so much more. Call Pronzi today and let them plan your next event. Why go anywhere else?
The British! They're here!
Sir, this is our Bay Coast Bank interactive teller machine, not the British. With our local ITM personal bankers, you can cash checks, make loan payments, and deposit or withdraw funds with extended hours beyond regular branch hours.
Genius!
Thank you.
I would like to make a withdrawal.
Great! How much?
12 shillings, please.
Welcome back to the Mike Martin Show here on AM 790 WPRV on Facebook Live and on YouTube. Our final portion of the program brought to you by Ticket Smarter. Nothing beats the power and excitement of live events like Ticket Smarter. For all the best sports, concerts, and theater events, visit TicketSmarter.com or on the app Ticket Smarter. Proud to be the official ticket resale marketplace of Brown Athletics. Ticket Smarter, a smarter way to buy tickets. All right, Coach, you wrap up the season this Saturday at Yale. Take on the Bulldogs down there. Before we discuss that, I know earlier this week you had a chance to go over to Providence College and practice. And, I know that's something that you've done on occasion this year, and it's nice that you have that relationship with Coach Cooley, going back to you guys coaching together as well, but going over to use that beautiful practice facility when they were on the road down at Villanova, you got to get a workout in over there.
Yeah, with scheduling conflicts and gym availability here, sometimes we have to be flexible and be willing to go elsewhere to practice. And Dave Longo, super hospitable director of facilities at PC, who obviously has spent time at Brown. Kevin Kerbeck is amazing, helping us out, and then Ed obviously supports it all too. So we had a good workout there, and our players and our staff are grateful that they allow us the opportunity when we need it.
And how about the season they've had? First time ever regular season Big East champions. What a magical season it's been for Ed's team.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone deserves it more. Him and his staff, they've worked extremely hard. They've built that program with culture and toughness and hard work, and they've got such a mature team. I mean, I think everyone who plays for them is either in their fourth, fifth, or sixth year of college basketball, and you're seeing that a lot around the country. Some of these teams, have really gotten old, and they've had success because of their experience. And Ed's team at Providence is a perfect example. And I know it was a tough loss to Nova the other night, but they had already clinched the Big East regular season. So good for them. They'll be the number one seed in the Big East tournament, and I would think they'll get a really good seed in the NCAAs.
Yeah, it's funny, when you mention that, the age of the teams. I'll never forget years ago, I was interviewing Jim Boeheim on my old radio show, and I asked him, about recruiting, the one-and-dones as opposed to the guys, you're going to have for 3-4 years. And he said, it's a great question. He said, to be honest with you, if I can get a B or B-plus recruit that I know I'm going to have for 4 years over an A-plus recruit that I'm going to have for 1, he said, I'd probably prefer the latter. He said, now, not that I'm going to turn down a guy like Carmelo Anthony, who helped me win a national championship.
Well,
right, it did, but the point was well taken. At that level, that's something you have to consider when you're on the recruiting trail. Fortunately, at the Ivy League, most kids are coming here to not just get a great basketball and athletic experience, but they're coming to get a great Ivy League degree as well. So generally speaking, you're keeping them for 4 years.
Yeah, but if there's some great students out there who are projected to be one-and-dones and they want to do their 1 year at Brown, we would love to have them.
Absolutely, positively. You got it. So, Coach, let's talk about this weekend's matchup. You take on the Yale Bulldogs down in New Haven, and again, this is a little bit of a change with the new Ivy League schedule. Before, we'd get them back-to-back in January, right? We'd get them here 1 week and then down there the next week, and now we split up the games toward the beginning and end of the schedule. Yale had another strong season. They'll be heading to the Ivy tournament. What do you remember about that January 17th game here? It was, again, unfortunately for us, another one of those close losses, 66-63.
Yeah, we went through a tough stretch offensively to start the second half. Thought we played with really good spirit and defended fairly well throughout the game. I mean, Azar Swain and Jalen Gabadon, who both should be recognized on the All-Ivy teams, I would think, and then Matthew Cotton, they kind of made something out of nothing. Like when we defended them really well, they went and made some tough shots and big baskets, which they have the ability to do. Offensively, we went in a little bit of a drought, start second half, and ended up falling down by 14. And then our defense for the last 10 minutes of the game gave us a chance. We had a couple really good looks to tie it and take the lead. Foul call on David Mitchell sent Swain to the line in a 1-point game, and then bad bounce after Jalen made a great block against Gabadon.
Yep.
Both, I guess, co-defensive players of the year 2 years ago. Gabadon was on offense. Jalen Gainey came over to help and made a great block, and unfortunately it bounced right to their kid Jarvis, who tipped it in to put them up 3. But we still had a good look to tie it. It just came up a little bit short. Thought that there was a lot of plays in that game we'd love to have back. Maybe a result would have been a little bit different, but I'm sure Yale feels the same way. And it'll be interesting to see how both teams play on Saturday. One of the things that I've always known about James and his teams is, obviously how they improve throughout the year. But we would always kind of watch them from afar when you play them the first 2.
Yep.
And then the next 12, you're just kind of, watching them from a casual view. Now that we're playing them here the last game of the regular season, and we haven't played them since January, you see all the games they've played since and just how they've grown and they've improved and the adjustments he and his staff have made. They're impressive, and we'll be anxious to see what their plan is against us on Saturday.
I watched their game against Cornell last week, and it looked like they had a problem taking care of the basketball. Turnovers, I think, got them a little bit, and they're one of their star players, Azar Swain, didn't have his best night, and it led to a loss up in Ithaca. But getting back to them in that first game, I know you mentioned this earlier. The defense played well. I thought statistically too. I mean, I want to say they shot like 40% from the field for the game. I thought statistically, you guys did a good job defensively against them.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, even in the first half, especially those 35 points, and then some of the big shots Swain hit in the second half. Not that they didn't try to run good offense, because they always run good offense, but we guarded it. And at the end, a lot of times it was their players kind of making something out of nothing, which happens a lot in league play.
Sure.
You know your other team so well, and they know what we're running, and T-Cho had to make in that game for us something out of nothing too. So it was at both ends. But I thought our defense was really good that night, and those guys made some big plays. And even with them making big plays, all of our defensive numbers were good enough to win the game.
Yep. And so the way it works out, I think if Princeton wins, are they regular season champs? If they lose and Yale wins, they're co-champs. Is that how it works? I think I'm not sure.
Right.
Yeah. So I know you don't care about going down and playing the role of spoiler. You care about winning a game. That's it. That's all you're focused on, right?
We've talked about a few things. And obviously we fall short of our goal to have a chance to play in the NCAA tournament, which is difficult. But our players, first and foremost, they love the game of basketball. They play for each other. They love the spirit of competition. We still have all those opportunities on Saturday.
Yep.
It's the last time this group's going to be together. It's the last time that a guy like Keno is going to play with T, and a guy like Kimo or Paxson is going to play with Jalen. So you think about all those things, and you want to finish really high. You want to finish on a great note. Our seniors have never won it at Yale. It's the only Ivy League gym they've never won in. They've won in every other Ivy League gym except Yale. If we win on Saturday, it'll tie the most wins for over a 3-year stretch. We won 20 games a couple years ago. The 20 and the 15 were the most ever over a 2-year stretch. If we win on Saturday, it'll tie the most over a 3-year stretch. So there's a lot on the table for us.
Yeah.
First of all, why do we play the game? That's always going to be there, and there's still a lot of things that we can accomplish. So let's try to go do that, and never mind what Yale has going on. Let's try to beat them.
All right, Coach, good luck against the Bulldogs.
Thanks.
All right, that game at Yale will be Saturday night at 7. Russ and I will have the call for you beginning at 6:45 right here on AM 790 WPRV. And that'll do it for this edition of the Mike Martin Show. Thank you to Aaron Cooley for joining us a little bit earlier. And for the head coach of the Bears, Mike Martin, my name is Scott Credisci. Thanks for joining us, everyone.